Hello everyone, Mark here with Mark's Max Muscle, and today we have a very interesting comparison. This is the 1980 version of Arnold Schwarzenegger versus the 81 Franco Columbu. Now why is this so interesting? These are the two controversial years, so these are probably the worst 2 years for Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu. So it's almost a contest to see who the worst one is. And I'm sure the loser will be deemed perhaps the worst ever Olympia champion of all time. Now, I cannot take credit for this just ingenious idea. This is a fan-requested matchup. Athanasios Afstatheo requests this matchup with a simple question. Why don't you compare Arnold 1980 and Franco 1981? Now, this is one of them situations where my jaw dropped. What a fantastic idea. Genius, sheer genius. And I will be honest with you, Arnold Schwarzenegger may be in trouble. Now, am I giving this one to Franco? Yes with an if, no with a but. It is a difficult decision to make. Arnold's structure is just so much better and superior than poor little Franco. But it appears the conditioning may be too much for Arnold to handle. But like I said, with that superior structure, you never know with the big Austrian oak. So slightly inconclusive in the front relaxed position. Now, of course, in the front double bicep, and it's always going to be hard for Franco to defeat Arnold in this based on simply the arm development alone. Look at those world-class biceps of Arnie. But of course, once again, I point to that conditioning. Franco is superior in the conditioning edge. Definitely. But is that enough to beat Arnold in this pose? I don't know. Again, this is an outstanding matchup. I'll be honest with you, Franco normally would be losing against Arnold, especially in this pose. And he kind of is, in a way. But I've never seen him do so good against Arnold in this pose. Not a very good rendition of Arnold at all. So, slightly inconclusive once again. Now in the front lat spread. And I know I may take some criticism from you Arnold diehard fans, because you are very diehard, you Arnold fans. But I have to vote the way I see it, and Franco is winning this matchup. I figure if I whisper, nobody will hear me, and I won't get bashed by the Arnold fans. Now, this is a different pose here. The other one was a rear lat spread, but it was a clearer picture, and it was just as good, I think, in the lat department. Now, of course, the legs are a little bit better here. He has them more flexed. But still, his legs, they look lanky compared to Franco's. Maybe a little bit more sliced and diced. He always had pretty good cuts in those legs, but I don't think it's enough to beat Franco even in the leg department. The side chest pose, of course, is always an Arnold Schwarzenegger pose. This is much like the front double bicep. It's going to be very tough for Franco to beat him in this, but I've never seen him come so close. Of course, this is not a mandatory way Franco's striking it. Here's a better one. And I don't know. It's like I said, it's tough for anyone to beat. That structure of Arnold, it's like his front double bicep. He could probably rip that shirt off right now and still beat half the man on that Olympia stage. No fooling. But either way, a slight edge here to Arnold. But overall, I still have Franco in the lead of this competition, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, this is a side tricep. If you go back and watch the 1980 Mr.Olympia, if you find a good quality version of it, you can hear the man asking Arnold time and time again, hit that side tricep, and he would not do it. Come on, Arnold, hit it, hit it. No, he would not. This was the only thing that he would give him. And of course, Franco is hitting somewhat the same pose. But really, it is not fair. I am going to throw this comparison in the garbage because... Why? Because Franco is armed and ready to go with this perfect mandatory pose. Other than his A little bit of gyno there. We can ignore that for now. He is destroying Arnold. This is an awesome side tricep. Look how hard and grainy he is. Condition plus. I'm telling you one thing now, ladies and gentlemen. I expect some criticism from this, but I also expect you to look at these comparisons and realize Franco is in far better condition than Arnold was. Of course, this competition is only half done, and when it comes to the back development, this is the real test of conditioning. And I may have spoke too soon. Look at that Christmas tree on the oak. Now, yes, Franco, the lighting is not as good there, and I am really looking, and I do see a Christmas tree as well for Franco. But I don't know. That coupled with the calves definitely are going to the oak. From the side, Franco's calves are awesome. From behind, they pale in comparison to the Austrian oaks, in my opinion. Arnold has a slight edge here in this rear relaxed position. Of course, in this twisting rear double bi, and the advantage goes back to Franco, in my opinion. Look at those lats. They are very hard to beat. Of course, Arnold's arms do look superior, but that small frame of Franco, one can only expect his arms to be so big. Actually, those triceps and biceps look pretty good for Franco in compared to his prior years. This is actually not as bad as year for Franco as most people think. It's actually not a bad rendition of Franco Columbu at all. I think that's why he's doing so good against this dud version of the oak. Of course, once again, the oak pulls out a pretty darn good pose. Look at that Christmas tree on Arnold. That pretty much gets him the win here in this rear double bicep. Now, unfortunately, there is no rear lat spread, which normally was a take-home pose for the bat Franco Columbu. But, I don't know, here in the rear double bi, I am going with the oak. This is a very close competition after all. Of course, I still place Franco slightly ahead, but all it would take is one more victory for Arnold, and he would win this competition. And of course, there are two more poses to go. And judging by this most muscular pose, and it's looking good for Franco, I am a little bit nervous to award him as the winner in this matchup. But come on, guys, look how narrow the oak is. This is 9 times out of 10 a take-home pose for him. But he always has that extra little bit of mass. That with his big frame just makes him unbeatable on that stage. But when he doesn't carry that extra little thick muscle, look how thin and long his legs look. And Franco actually looks pretty darn good here. I am giving Franco a slight edge in this. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to have to be a blowout victory for Arnold in this next pose, which is the ab and thigh shot. And actually, this makes it a whole lot easier to make this decision. And of course, as you can see, Arnold's thigh is just too thin to even compete with Franco's. And of course, when you look at the abs, Franco has an advantage in that aspect as well. Look at that little V taper on Franco. He is winning this competition, ladies and gentlemen. Pop your corks on your champagne. The little Italian beat this big Austrian. Of course, there's always going to be some controversy when it comes to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I expect that. But I also expect you to give an objective look at Arnold in 1980 and ask yourself, was he really better than Franco Columbu in 1981? In my opinion, no, he was not. I think he was not nearly as prepared as Franco was. Did either one of them deserve to win the title? Well, I guess we'll have to leave that question to another day. I hope you enjoyed this fan-requested video, and don't forget, leave your ideas in the comment section below. You guys always have the best ideas for matchups. Have a good day.